Welcome to the Season Long Podcast. This is Season Long Baller. Hope you're having a great day, and I am very happy to see you here. So what we do on the YouTube channel Season Long Baller is we have an NBA 2K23 player build named Jaymont Summerz, a 6'5" point guard from William and Mary, and we are actually following the actual NBA season. So we are going to be playing all 82 games. In the past week, the Wizards went 2-1, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the player build, Jaymont Summerz. So overall, he is a 78, and the logic there, as you've probably heard on a couple of the games, because the NBA 2022 draft class, headed by Banchero, he on NBA 2K23 overall is a 78. And I think Chet Holmgren is either a 77, and I think Jabari Smith Jr. is also a 77 or 78, somewhere in there. But no one in the class is over Banchero, who is a 78. So since that is the case, we didn't want to make our player better than anyone that's in the class already. So Jaymont Summerz is a 78. And we limited his attributes in order to get that number. In addition, he only has 2 badges. Banchero has 3. Chet Holmgren and Smith, I believe one of them has 1 or both of them have 1. But again, nobody has more than 3 that Banchero has in that draft class. So we gave Jaymont Summerz 2 badges as well. Now, the 2 badges, one of them is limitless range. That is a bronze, and dimer. That is a silver, and that is the extent of his range. But as the season goes along, we are hoping that Summerz gets better, that I get better, and we can add to his attributes as the season goes along. And again, he is just a 78 right now. As for me, I am I guess you could say an average player. I am not a superstar, but I hope to get better as the season goes along. And that is the grind and the progress. And I hope you join me for that journey. And again, we're playing the full 82 game season for the Washington Wizards. Now, you may be thinking, why the Wizards? Well, we didn't want to put Summerz as a point guard on a team that already had an established point guard. So Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors, of course, are out of the picture. Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks definitely don't want to do that. So we had to think of a team that maybe the point guard isn't a superstar and someone that Summerz could displace in the lineup. After thinking about it a little bit, and there were some candidates, we went ahead and picked the Washington Wizards, whose starting point guard this year is Monte Morris, the former Denver Nugget. On NBA 2K23, he is a 79 overall, and now he is the Wizards' 6th man, and Summerz is starting at the point guard. So hopefully Summerz will get better, and Season Long Baller will get better. And by the end of the season, hopefully the Wizards will be in the playoffs. And one other thing to mention before we get into the review of the week for the Wizards and Jaymont Summerz, the tattoo, when we were doing the player build, I wasn't really feeling any of the tattoos. So down in the comment section, if there's a tattoo that you happen to feel or you would like to see on Jaymont Summerz, just go ahead and mention it in the comment section. We will go ahead and put that in the player build. And also for the signatures moves. In some of the cases for the signature moves, if there's a particular move you'd like to see, we might go ahead and add that to the player build as well. And the most prominent of those that I was very undecided about was the free throw routine or the free throw part of the build. Again, if there's a favorite that you have, then we might go ahead and add that to the player build. And that was something else that we would like to do. As it stands right now, I think the layup package is Damian Lillard. The jump shot is the 2 upper releases of Ray Allen. I mean, he is a 6'5" guard. And the base actually is Larry Bird. I think the pregame routine is business trip 1 and point to the sky. He chews gum. Those are just a few of the things that I can think of off the top of my head here. But if there are some signatures that you would like to see Jaymont Summerz have, then just go ahead and leave those down in the comment section, and we'll try to add a few of those, especially that tattoo, to the player build. So that was our thinking with the player build, and that player build is going to be down in the description. So now getting back to what happened last week with the Washington Wizards, their first game was a win against the Pacers on the road, 79-72, and that mirrors, again, the actual NBA season where the Washington Wizards on Wednesday, October 19th, faced the Wizards in Indy. The next game was a win against the Bulls, 93-86, and that one was a little bit surprising because the Wizards were up by 8 to 10 points with, say, 2 minutes or so to go. Summerz came out of the game, and when he returned, the Bulls, I guess, had already gone on an 8-0 run, and the Wizards were only up by 1 with the Bulls in possession of the ball. And that's one other thing to mention is that when Summerz comes out of the game, we come out of the game. So we don't play those moments that Summerz is not in the game. And by the way, we're playing 6-minute quarters, so half of an actual 12-minute quarter. So continuing, the season ended with, the week ended with a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers where the Wizards were blown out 97-78. Jaymont Summerz did have his best game of the season in terms of points, leading the Wizards in points in that game, but that was too little, too late, not enough at all. And as you can see here, the Cavaliers shot 65% from the field. It felt higher than that. Maybe when Summerz was in the game, they shot a way higher percentage. And looking at the three-pointers, it was only 39%, but it really did not feel like that when you were actually in the game. Also, those offensive rebounds, as you see, the Cavaliers had 8, and I would suspect that Jared Allen had at least 4 or 5 of those 8, and that led to the 10 second chance points you see, because it really did feel like in the game itself that when the Cavaliers did happen to miss, then Allen got the rebound. And Garland, the starting point guard, Darius Garland, and Spider, Donovan Mitchell, both of them had excellent games. And then the Wizards ended up falling to the Cavaliers. So looking at next week that we have coming up, the first game will actually be against the Detroit Pistons. And as you can see here, the Pistons are actually 2-1, just like the Wizards. And the good thing here for the Wizards, as you may notice, that both teams are actually 2-1, and both teams are 1-0 at home. But this game will be a home game for the Wizards, so hopefully we can keep that undefeated streak alive. The next 2 games will probably be a little bit more difficult. Well, one of them may not be. We've already defeated the Pacers once, but we will get the Pacers again at home. That will be taking place on October 28th. And then to finish out this week, traveling to Boston to take on the Celtics. That game will definitely be a tough one, but that's what we're looking at in the immediate with the Detroit Pistons and their 2-1 record. As you can see, I guess it is a little early to look at the playoff picture, but the Wizards are 2-1 right now, and that is good enough for 7th in the Eastern Conference. You see the Pistons right there, 2-1, right above us, and sometime here soon, the Wizards will be taking on the New Jersey Nets, who are also sitting there at 2-1. I was mentioning just a moment ago about Banchero being the number one draft pick by the Orlando Magic in the 2022 NBA draft. And as you can see, taking a look at the rookie report, Banchero right now leads all rookies in terms of minutes and points. But as you see, Jaymont Summerz is also second on the list, as he has played a good amount of minutes and is second in scoring right now. So we'll see who finishes with the Rookie of the Year. I know in actual NBA play, Banchero had a fabulous debut. I believe he scored 27 points. So it's not unusual, I will think, to see Banchero end up as the Rookie of the Year, but we will see if Jaymont Summerz can give him a little bit of a challenge. Finally, one other thing to mention, the league will be different. One of the things was Chicago, when the Wizards played the Bulls, you may have noticed that Lonzo Ball started at the point guard, which obviously is not something that is happening in real life since Ball, unfortunately, is injured. So the injured report for my NBA, it will not reflect exactly what's going on in the NBA season. Matter of fact, in the Cleveland game, Ricky Rubio actually did get injured, and you see him there at the bottom of that list, hyperextended left knee day to day. But those injuries are going to play a factor as the season goes along. And for the Wizards themselves, the way they are looking on the game right now and the way that Porzingis is playing, it could be a bad thing for the Wizards if Porzingis gets hurt. He is the biggest size on the roster. The backup center is Gafford. He's not over 6'9". So against some of the bigger teams in the league, that may be a problem as we go along. But anyhow, that is what we are looking at for this week. I really appreciate you taking the time to check out the Season Long Podcast. We will do this on Mondays. Again, giving you a review of what happened in the week and then giving you a preview of what is coming up in the week ahead. This is Season Long Baller. Appreciate your time. If you like what we're doing on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. It is very much appreciated. We will see you again taking on the Detroit Pistons on the 28th. Yes, I'm sorry, on the 25th. So that is tomorrow. We'll be taking on the Pistons. Hope to see you there. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. Season Long Baller is out. Peace.